I didn't know it was going to be this hard. It's been 10 years. We named our daughter Ellie. My wife and I were watching this French movie, and there was a character in the movie named Ellie. And when the movie was over, my wife said to me, "If we ever have a daughter, let's name her Ellie." And I said, "Of course. I love that name." My wife and I had trouble having kids. And after 12 years of marriage, we decided to adopt. And that's how we got Jake. And 2 years later, we got Darren. My wife was in the delivery room for both of the boys, and we got to take them home from the hospital. But it was different with Ellie. She was in foster care. She was in foster care from 5 months to 13 months, and that's when we met her. She was born with a liver disorder called biliary atresia, and her birth mom wasn't taking care of her, so the courts took her away and put her in foster care. And then at 13 months, we got to take her home, but her birth mom still had some legal rights, so my wife had to do visitations. And it was hard. I just don't understand why some people can just get pregnant and have babies, and they don't even realize what people like me and my wife go through. Anyway, when our social worker initially called us, she told us about biliary atresia. And if you're born with biliary atresia, you have to have a liver transplant. So we knew it was going to happen eventually. And after about 2.5 years, we got a call from UCLA Medical Center. That's where she had all her doctor's appointments, and that's where they were going to do the liver transplant. So I took her in. My wife stayed home with the boys. And I got her to UCLA, and they prepped her. Sorry. The surgery took about 15 hours. And by that time, my wife was there with me. And when the surgery is over, they called us and they said, the liver didn't take. And they gave us a choice. They said we could come in and say goodbye to her, or they could look for another liver. And we said, look for another liver. You gotta find a liver for my baby. And less than a day later, they found another liver. They did the transplant. And everything was fine. At least we thought everything was fine. For about 2.5 months, I lived at the hospital. I was there for about 4 days. My wife was there for 3. We would take turns being with Ellie and take turns being with the boys. My wife and I would just pass in the night when it was time to switch roles. And then after about 2.5 months, the doctors came to us and they said, she needs a 3rd transplant. They found another liver. They did the 3rd transplant. And 2 weeks later, she died.